Hey guys, welcome to day 8 of the IPL. Um, Last match was something special, reminded me of the first ever game of IPL. What say, guys?
Yeah, I think
RCB,
Brendan McCullum hitting 158. Yeah, what
yeah,
a knock.
RCB back to its best.
I
But
I
yeah,
feel for the RCB fans. They don't
yeah,
get to
man.
enjoy
I mean,
like
it's
two
pretty much
matches in a row.
what we expected, right? Like get Faf
Correct,
fully out, and that's it. They're done. Game over.
correct.
Um, but yeah, even bowling like Siraj and Akashdeep and Harshal, everyone at the death looks really, really subpar.
Correct.
Right.
Uh, I think हमने कल ये discuss किया था. Harshal, Siraj, these guys are not death bowlers.
Yeah.
They are easily leaking a good 50, 60 runs in the last four. Uh, till 13th over, RCB was on top. Uske baad, a guy like Shardul Thakur coming in and scoring so heavily, no one would have even thought about it. So RCB is the same problem जो उनको almost 10-12 सीजन से है. 2 या 3 बैट्समैन के ऊपर हेवी रिलायंस है और उसके अलावा आई थिंक द रेस्ट ऑफ द ऑर्डर जस्ट फेल्स मेजॉरिटी ऑफ द टाइम्स. जैसे ही प्रेशर थोड़ा सा आता है उनकी टीम पे तो दे नीड टू वर्क ऑन इट.
Right, right. I think they are over-reliant, as you mentioned, on Virat, Faf, and Maxwell, and they would really want Bracewell to step up this season to,
करेक्ट.
strengthen their middle order. And that was, I think, part of the reason why they sent him at 3 today.
When Hasaranga comes, who goes out of the team? Won't Bracewell go? I don't think they're gonna not play without David Wiley. I think they need him.
क्या
Yeah,
दे
David
नीड
Wiley bowled
लेफ्ट
well.
आर्म सीमर ऑन टॉप.
और फैफ और
Yeah.
मैक्सवेल तो कहीं नहीं जा रहे तो आई थिंक ब्रेसवेल पे मतलब आई डोंट थिंक ही प्लेज आई थिंक हसरंगा कम्स
या
ही goes.
Hmm, hmm.
but the same problem, right? I think we discussed in the past that they need a number 3 and a number 5, like considering Maxwell bats at number 4.
Yeah,
उनका जो 3 और 5 नंबर का भी बैटिंग लाइनअप है, दैट टू मी इट लुक्स एक्सट्रीमली शेकी. और
Yeah.
उसकी वजह से ये हो रहा है कि मैक्सवेल का रोल डिफाइंड नहीं है टीम में. मैक्सवेल इज लाइक समवन जो आके एंकर नहीं कर पा रहे हैं या आके इनिंग्स को. इफ यू गिव मैक्सवेल 12-14 ओवर्स, आई डोंट थिंक ही इज परफॉर्मिंग वेल. सो if they look at giving only like 20-30 balls to the Maxwell at the end, or how do they go about shuffling their middle order, that seems I think the most important question in front of our RCB batting lineup right now.
Yeah. But again, and talk just quickly talking about the other team before we jump into today's KKR, right? Like I think considering they'll be playing a lot of games at Eden, a lot of picks just came up right today, like
Yeah.
yeah.
Chakravarti,
Yep.
Nareen, and Gurbaz, and so yeah, I think it'll be interesting to pick because KKR. I think the last time we spoke, we were talking about how they don't have good fantasy picks. It's like Russell and
Correct.
that's it. But I think at Eden, they seem to, I mean, at least some names have come up, which could be good differentials from them.
Right.
Correct.
And Gurbaz look good, so it'll be interesting to see whether they pick Jason Roy or how do they go about that. Because
Yeah,
I think Gurbaz played well.
yeah,
I think one change we'll see for sure is Mandeep going out of the team. I think उसको experience के लिए रखा हुआ है, but he's not able to deliver
Yeah,
on the top
yeah,
of the order. And at the same time, as you mentioned, Vishnu, KKR, I think to me is a team uh, who will probably not rely a lot on individual brilliances like we saw one from Shardul today, but a collective team effort when they are playing at Eden Gardens. The spin options they have, people chipping away with 20-30 runs. So they seem to be getting their balance right on a ground like Eden. Let's see with other grounds how are they getting the combinations correct.
yeah.
right. Suyash Sharma is someone worth looking at. I think he bowled well.
Yeah, able to
At
do that.
Eden,
Look at, yeah,
definitely.
yeah, yeah.
All right, so let's move on to today's game then. Lucknow, Hyderabad, good again, good game with a lot of big fantasy picks.
Yeah.
So I think Lucknow has played two, of which one was at home, so the same ground. So will be interesting to see. And if you look at the Lucknow scorecard, right? it's the same names in green, right? Like it's
Correct.
Mayers,
Yeah.
Pooran, Mark Wood, Bishnoi, and Avesh to some extent. I mean, he took 1 wicket in the first game. So these
Yeah.
five, I think, are the clear picks. Surprising that the name we expect to be green. KL Rahul is not green yet. But what are your thoughts on him this game? Do you pick him? I think, like, my opinion is that it's a good opportunity to
Yeah.
take a punt. Like, if you want to be different, uh, I think it's a good time because Rahul doesn't look at his best. He's gonna be up against Bhuvi, Rashid, and Natarajan, and all these guys who he does struggle against. So yeah, I think good time to maybe take a punt there, take a gamble.
I
Yeah.
think, yeah, I don't know. I think this game there is some chance that he comes good finally. But
Yeah.
the other thing is, do you think QDK plays? Is he available from this
He is
game or is still
available. He is.
Yeah.
I
He's
think he
available.
comes in place of Stoinis.
Stoinis?
I think
Stoinis,
so.
right?
Yeah. I don't know what the
So
bat
does
order will be though. I think Mayer
that
still
was my
opens
question.
though. Mayer still
Yeah,
opens.
so if Quinty and Mayers open, then does Rahul come down the order or does
No,
he
I think
continue
Rahul
to open?
opens with Mayers and I think Quinty comes down. They probably don't play
Okay.
Krunal at 4. I think
Okay,
Huda
so you're saying Quinty will come at 3 and they'll push Huda at 4,
at 4. Yeah.
something
That's what
like
I
that.
think. But yeah, it's gonna mess up their balance a little bit.
Right,
I
right.
think
Something
so
to
too.
look
Like
at.
for me, if it's a good option if they say that Mayers goes all out attacking at the top, and 20 is a good like a reserve top order batsman who can bat at
I
3.
think that's what.
But
Yeah.
looking at this setup, I still feel this setup works for them because having Stoin in the middle order, right, along with say Krunal and Puran, gives them a good right hand left hand combination balance. So I feel he's yet to come good, but again, he is someone who can give you an explosive, quick fire runs at the end. So I just want to see ki LSG how are they going about making
Yeah.
sure whether they keep
Nice to have.
QDK out or Stoin in.
Yeah, I don't think they. I mean, they can't not play Quinton. I think that's the problem.
Correct.
With the form that is in, and yeah.
Yeah.
So I think LSG. That's probably the one. I think Unatkat Thakur. I think Unatkat comes back, right? I think Thakur was uh like a Chepok pick. I think they get the
Yep.
pace back because Lucknow.
Right.
So again, if you see the first match, uh, Pacers did take most of the wickets.
Correct.
Again, one thing about this game is right, like the first game happened on the good, I think the red soil pitch, and tomorrow's
Correct.
game
This is
is
the
on
black
the
soil
black
pitch.
soil, which was that very low scoring game, which was an issue, right? The last one.
Correct.
So it'll be interesting to see whether it's a low scoring game, whether they've curated the pitch enough for it to be a batting one.
Yep.
So yeah, it could be a bowling pitch.
Yep.
What about SRH? So they have Jansen, they have Markram, they have Klaasen. All the South African boys are back, ready for selection.
I think Markram walks in, of course, is the captain.
Coming for
Jansen,
Rashid, I don't know. Yeah,
like with Faruqi bowling well, I'm not sure if Jansen plays or not because Faruqi bowled pretty well in the first game. So
I
we'll
think
have to
he
wait and
still
watch.
plays because he's first choice, and they got ball up right in the first game. I think they
Hmm,
might
hmm, hmm.
might make the change.
Right.
But who goes? I mean, they replace Rashid and Faruqi because they
I
can't.
feel they might
Who
start
will
with
come
both
in? Ah, okay. Yeah. Right.
with Rashid they have a genuine leg
Yeah.
spinner who gives
Yeah.
you wickets, who keeps it tight. So
Right.
I feel Rashid khelega. If I was the selector for SRH, even Faruqi should play because he had a very good game and he's coming off on the back of a lot of international leagues and
Right.
international exposure as well. So uh, I feel Jansen Farooqi is still a tough call to make, but I would definitely keep Rashid in the team for his ability to contain in the middle orders and then pick wickets as well.
But what
Yeah.
about
Because Farooqi
Markram?
bowled well in the death as well. So
I'll
that's
take Phillips out for getting Markram into the
Who will
team.
keep?
Yeah,
That is the
that's
issue.
again a challenge. Harry Brook is a keeper, right? He can keep.
Tripathi can keep
Yeah,
as well,
Tripathi
I
is-
think.
Yeah.
I think they'll go with Harry Brook. Harry Brook keeps for his English side. So
If he does,
Acha.
he's a solid fantasy option then.
yes, I feel
Yeah.
you will see like he'll get better and better as the season goes on. He's someone who you need to give a 2-3 games. He's just getting started with his IPL career and has a lot of potential.
Yeah.
But coming back to Vishnu's point, there is a chance that this might be a bowling pitch. What
Correct.
do you guys think? How much are you willing to bet on the batters, from a fantasy perspective? Do you play it safe? Do you go heavy on the batters?
I would, so even pitch aside, right? Like, I think I just generally like the bowling fantasy picks in this game. So I
Hmm.
would take that
There's Mark Wood.
that it's a bowling pitch. I mean, yeah, there's Mark Wood, there's Natarajan, there's a lot of options, right? Avesh, Bishnoi, all very good options.
Right.
So I would probably go a little bowling heavy because I don't see any batsmen who I particularly want to have.
Correct. And when the bowling lineups are in such confidence, if you see, let's say LSG's bowling lineup and say SRH's bowling lineup, right? Rahul definitely has not been in the best of forms. You're looking at bowlers giving you 2 or 3 wickets, but until the track is extremely batsman friendly, there are combinations where someone or the other might get a batsman out. I don't see Abhishek, Tripathi, Brook, Washington playing the long innings because the bowlers of LSG being in such form, and the same is the case the other way around
Yeah.
as well. The top
Yeah.
order not firing for LSG, so you need to be careful that you probably can have 1 or 2 batsmen, but I think if it's a pitch which is slightly on the slower side, it's a new track. Go bowler heavy. I think that's going to work much better in this scenario.
Right. Especially Bishnoi, I think I like Bishnoi as a pick. He
Yeah,
usually tends to pick wickets.
yeah,
When the pitch is a little too paced and when batters are trying to go after him, tends to pick wickets. Wood again, he
Yeah,
might go for
let's
runs,
let's
but
uh,
he'll
let's
always
just go into the picks, right? Before going on.
yeah, yeah.
correct.
Uh, let's start with like the must-haves. Are there any who you
Wood
think are,
for sure.
yeah, Wood is definitely up there, right?
Yeah, and I'll go with keeping Bishnoi as well.
Yeah,
For me, he's the better of the 2 leg spinners. So
yeah.
Yeah.
I think batting, I think Mayers still is a very, very good option, right?
He's a
yeah,
very good option. I think it
Open.
just comes down to, are you betting on him firing a third consecutive time after
yeah.
2 really good innings?
Yeah.
But
And
otherwise,
I'm
excellent
also
option.
looking at Bhuvi doing some damage up the order, a wicket or two probably, but uh,
Yeah.
given his form, I feel it's still
Yeah.
tough. But I'm
Because
not
he's
looking at
gonna get those
scoring a
2 overs
third
in
inning.
also, Mayers.
Yeah, yeah,
I mean, it's just more opportunity for
Yes,
fantasy
there's more
points.
opportunity. Definitely. He swings it quite a bit as well. A little
yeah.
slower than Bhuvi, but he swings it a lot.
Yeah. What about SRH? Who's the
I
best?
want to see Tripathi firing.
Yeah.
Tripathi is I really like that kid, but the challenge is again. Uh, he's been in and out of the Indian side. He just predominantly plays IPL and then the Shayyad Mushtaqs or the white ball cricket. So um, again, can give him a watch for a couple of more games. But for me, he's like an X factor sort of a pick. Can
Yeah.
give you a good
Agreed.
60, 70 runs.
Agreed. I think he comes good this game.
Yeah.
What about the openers? I think Abhishek is a good pick considering he's uncapped.
Correct.
What are the other
Right,
options?
as an uncapped. Right.
Yeah, there's Abhishek, there's Abdul Samad, and there's Badoni.
Badoni comes
I
quite late usually, so it's a little,
correct.
Yeah,
it's
and
hard
same
to
thing
guess
with
how much he
Samad, right?
plays.
Same thing with
Yeah,
Samad.
yeah.
Correct. Correct
Abhishek
with
is a
Samad.
good uncapped.
Abhishek is probably the best of the uncapped pick. If SRH are batting first, I would
Samad.
probably think of a Samad better than ahead of Abhishek. But if they are if they are chasing, if they are batting second, then definitely Abhishek.
Yeah. Okay.
What are your thoughts on Harry Brook? Do you
Yeah.
wait and
If
watch?
he
Do
keeps,
you?
I'll be very tempted to get him in.
Correct.
Yeah.
Likewise.
I
If
don't
he's
think he
keeping,
does, but yeah, if he does, yes. What about Washington?
he's not a person giving you a lot of fantasy points. Contains rather than attack to take wickets.
But he has
And
that. I mean, he'll bowl 2-3 overs. He'll bat 3-4.
yeah, yep.
So he has opportunities to score. But yeah, it's
But I'd
different.
Like
rather have Krunal over Washington if I had to pick.
correct.
Similar
So
price.
Krunal,
Is he
Washington,
bowling?
Akshar,
Yeah,
he bowled last game.
yeah. Even what about Krishnappa Gautam?
No, I won't have him.
I wouldn't.
Is he capped? No.
Yeah, is uncapped? Okay.
Okay. Unadkat, not really an option. What about Umran? Umran and Avesh. I think Avesh is a good differential pick, according to me.
Yes,
I think
Avesh
he's a
is a good
differential
differential
pick
pick.
because there is risk with taking Avesh because he can always go for a lot of runs and not pick
Yeah,
wickets
but wickets,
sometimes.
right? Wickets. He just tends to
Yeah,
always be in the
yeah,
wickets.
right.
Yeah. What about Umran and Bhuvneshwar and Natarajan? Which one would you pick if you could pick one?
I'll
SRH.
pick Natarajan.
Yeah,
Natarajan, Umran, Bhuvi, that will be my order.
yeah. I'll probably have
Yeah,
And I think
above Umran, but uh,
yeah,
I think all of us agree on Natarajan.
yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
What are your thoughts on Rashid? You know, he's one more person who tends to take wickets when people try to go after him, and
I
especially
honestly
if you
don't. I still think he doesn't play. If he does play, he's a good option. But again, if it's your daily team, yeah, very good punt. If it's your season long, I think you might have to remove him anyway. So I mean, it's just there are just so many other better options. Like
Correct.
Yeah,
So
I might
looking at
consider
the
him if if
mhm.
in games where if he's playing, of course, if SRH bats first and there's a chance where they put up a big total and Rashid is bowling, defending a big total, then I would fancy him picking a couple of wickets. Maybe not for this game though, but in
I think
general, if
the thing with Rashid is you will see him majority of the time in being yellow performances and a few green ones, right?
yeah,
Uh, I feel he's a person who will give you 1 wicket, 2 wickets max, but he'll keep the runs that get scored of him around 28, 30, 35, right? So
yeah,
to fantasy perspective, it does not really look that great, but he's a good addition in the SRH squad and makes like their team more balanced.
yeah,
I think another pick for me, if he's starting the game, is Markram. He is definitely coming off a couple of brilliant performances at the international circuit. He has been consistent, just won the South Africa T20 League as a captain, scored heavily as a batsman, bowls a
right.
couple of overs, is a gun fielder. So I feel Markram is definitely either an X factor or even I would put him in a good buy for myself.
yeah. I think he'll be a differential because I don't think many will have him. But yeah, yeah,
Correct.
excellent pick. What about Quinton if he plays?
I'll wait and watch for now.
Yeah, but I mean, he probably he'll keep, right? if he plays.
He
Yeah,
will keep.
I think
Yeah.
if he plays, he'll keep.
Yeah. I mean,
I
keep
think he will, in
depends.
general, be a popular pick, Quinton de
Yeah.
Kock. In general, if
I
he
think
plays, he'll be.
he's coming in red hot form.
Correct.
He knows he is under threat from mayors and whatnot. I think he comes in and delivers.
I think if they get him in, uh, uh, I feel, even he has the license to hit up front. So if
Yeah,
you
yeah.
are going with both Mayers and Quinton, you can actually look at having Mayers at number 3. To me, he looks more of a batsman that can hit long sixes, and at the same time, Quinton gets his time in the power play with his stroke play, the way he goes about taking on fast bowlers up front.
Yeah.
I think Quinton becomes a better choice to open with Rahul and Mayers at 3.
Yeah. So I think 20 is a
Hmm.
good differential, or maybe a good pick. What about I had a name in mind. Yeah, what about Mayank Agarwal?
Still wait and watch for me. Again, he's
Yeah, I
two
would wait and
performances
watch.
in the season, two big performances in the season.
No, I think he's a little
Uh,
more. I mean, because if you look at them, he has to be the anchor, right? He has
Correct.
to sort of be that Shikhar Dhawan, David Warner, whatever type of 30 of 25 and 40. I think he'll rack up a lot of scores. So, I mean, ceiling may not be high, but I think he's a safe pick. I think
He's a safe pick.
he
Yeah.
trickles along. Like,
I just don't keep him against this bowling lineup, because what I
Yeah,
feel is,
exactly.
as soon
That
as
is
you
what I was
introduce
thinking.
Wood, yeah, if you
Right,
introduce Wood, if say
right,
Avesh bowls like a fiery spell, right? I don't
right,
see Mayank really doing well against these guys, but
right.
as you mentioned, Vishnu, I think in general he's a good 40 run, 60, 70 points pick.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, I think it's a good differential. Do we go gutsy and put KL in the avoid?
Uh, I don't know if he's an avoid in
I
any
mean, see,
IPL team.
he's never an avoid, right? At the end of the day, he's
Correct,
Rahul.
correct, correct.
But I think this is a better time than ever, right? To
Better time than ever. Yeah.
yeah.
And I hope we get proven wrong. But yeah, I think for once, with the last, say, 12 months in mind, and the couple of matches, Rahul is an avoid for this game.
Yeah.
It's a bold call, I know. But again, for the amount of money
Hmm.
you shell on him versus what you're looking at as a return, I think he's an avoid
Right,
for now.
right.
So one thing in our avoid list, do you sense one pattern of who we are avoiding? They're all ex-RCB. Avoid RCB is the trend. What about Krunal? Avoid or X Factor?
I
Does
will
he
avoid
really
Krunal.
come two down with if especially if Quinton plays? Probably not, right?
No,
I mean, no
I'll
way.
avoid Krunal.
Yeah, I think
Yep.
even I would have because even his bowling, I think I'd put him here, but I think he probably goes into avoid. All right, I think maybe we
And
can just discuss. Yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
I think he's an asset to have in any team, but
Hmm.
with the
As a
combinations you
fantasy.
look in a fantasy, I think he becomes an avoid.
Yeah,
I think players like Washington, Krunal, they fall in the tier 2 all-rounders where they are a good addition to the team, but from a fantasy perspective, it
Correct.
becomes really hard to guess in what way they're going to contribute, when are they going to come into bat, how many balls are they going to face, and stuff like that.
See, not a lot of stuff about bowling in particular is around the economy, right? Like, uh, you can
Right.
be a bowler who gets thrashed up front but comes for
yeah,
2 overs and ends up picking 3 or 4 wickets. So I think their role is more to contain in the middle over to build
Yeah.
pressure, and they don't end up taking a lot of wickets.
yeah,
So
Yeah.
that's where they struggle to get a lot of fantasy points for you.
yeah.
Yeah.
Your Avesh Khan and Wood are always gonna get more.
Correct.
All right, what about captain, vice captain? Who would you go with? Do you look into the pitch report or do you just go with
I would.
would
I
and
look into the pitch report.
I
Yeah,
would
for
definitely
sure.
over
if
here.
you read,
By the way, Vishnu, where did you hear about the other pitch being used? Like, what
I was
did he...
reading this. They said they're going to use the other one,
The black soil pitch. Yeah.
the
Okay,
black
okay.
soil. But if
And
say the pitch report says it's a belter, do you then go
Mhm.
Rahul and Mears and
I'm not sure. So far, all the pitch reports have been belters, right? So I think it's a
but the
tricky call,
team
to be
batting
honest.
first, I think so far what like we haven't seen. I think the lowest score so far has been like 160 or something,
Yeah, by Delhi,
right?
right?
yep.
Yeah, there's no like 80, 90, 100 pitch. At least it doesn't seem like it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um,
To be fair, I think the last game at Lucknow seemed like a tricky pitch initially, but I
yeah,
think
but they still
Myers,
got like 190 odd, I think. So,
Correct.
yeah, right.
so who's your pick? I think if Sunrisers bowl first, right? Natarajan just becomes a good pick for me. Like
Hmm.
he just gets wickets in the death when he bowls first innings.
Correct.
Always like I've been
Always does.
watching from the last 2, 3 seasons. Maybe not a good captain, but I think definitely a good vice captain pick.
I am tempted to keep one of Brook or Markram if it's a batting builder, like if it's a batting paradise, because
Yeah, I think the differential good picks.
differential good picks
Yeah.
for the captains.
Yeah. And I think captain Wood
Wood
probably
is
is just a very, very good
Wood is
option.
always an option, yeah.
right.
Yeah, I don't see anyone like Bishnoi. Would you punt? Who do
He's
you
a good
punt?
choice to
Bishnoi,
keep in the
Natarajan?
team, but hmm,
Yeah, because there's always that risk, right? With these, like with spinners like Bishnoi, that they get played out. What Jammu was talking about, right? Like
yeah,
middle over.
yeah, yeah,
But your Natarajan first innings is gonna bowl that 20th over unless they're all out. But he is gonna bowl that 20th over, and he is very likely to take wickets. So that makes
right,
like the death bowlers a better pick.
right.
All right, I think we have pretty much covered this game.
Hmm. Yeah.
Let's,
No
let's
premium picks here in this
no
game.
premium picks. We have
No
one
premium picks.
No obvious ones,
courtesy
basically.
one here.
A premium avoid.
All
Right.
right, guys. Thanks. All the best for the game.
Thank you.
Yes,
Yeah.
thank you.